If you're looking for an attorney to take your case, it could get frustrating because a lot of times people who've never used an attorney before find themselves in a position trying to figure out, how can I find an attorney? Can I afford to find an attorney? And will this attorney take my case? I had someone ask me a question on YouTube about taking their civil action, and I realized, you know what? A lot of people don't really understand what steps they need to take if they're trying to find someone to take their case other than watching something on television. So here's some things I want for you to think about, as well as some tips for what you need to have together when you get ready to approach an attorney. State bar. Every attorney in your state, unless the state is weird like that, which I doubt they do, but every attorney requires that in order to practice law, you have to have a license, which means every state has an organization that governs the licensing of all of those attorneys. And that license is the bar, and that organization is the bar. And so what you want to do is contact the bar for your state. And you're probably saying, how the heck do I do that? Go to Google, type in the name of your state, and just say bar. So it'd be Florida bar, Tennessee bar, North Dakota bar. When you contact the bar, ask them if they have an attorney referral program. And you're saying, what does that mean? What it means is that if you tell them the type of law or the type of case that you have, can they refer you to someone in your area? A lot of states, especially states that have a lot of attorneys like New York and Florida, California, Texas, things like that, have those type of programs because it's a great way to connect people with clients or prospective clients. County bar associations. Almost every county has a county bar association where all the attorneys in different areas of law meet and for different meetings and different programs and different organizational events. If you're in an area, find out whether or not you have a county bar association. Same thing. All you have to do is type in the name of your county with bar association and it comes up. They should have some type of email or contact number that you can call. But here's another special tip you might want to think about. If you're in a county that may be small or rural, look for the closest large city county. And what do I mean by that? Well, I lived in Osceola County for a while. And Osceola County, Florida is a fairly small county. Well, Orlando is right next door, which means Orange County's bar association is huge. So a lot of times when people are trying to find some, I'll tell them not only look in the county you're in, look in the neighboring cities or counties that have a larger population because their bar organizations are probably larger, and ask the same question. Do they have any type of referral programs? Legal aid profit. They are there to provide legal services for those people who are not in the best financial position to be able to afford to pay for an attorney out of pocket. These attorneys are sharp, they are well prepared, and most importantly, if they can't help you, they can usually point you in the direction of somebody who can. Special interests. Special interests are areas where there are specific types of attorneys who do the same type of thing. For instance, if you are let's say you're in Florida and you're looking for someone to go after your employer because you believe you were wrongfully fired. Well, there's an organization called the Florida Employment Lawyers Association. And guess what? Those attorneys typically represent plaintiffs against employers. So guess what? You type in Florida Employment Lawyers Association and you contact them to see if they can connect you with an attorney who does employment law. And this is a way that you can connect with an attorney. And it's the same way whether it's personal injury, workers' compensation, or veterans work. There are organizations that just focus on a specific area. So what you want to do is just type in the name of what you need, personal injury attorney, food and beverage, whatever the attorney you need, and plus the words association, and you will get a list of different names and just make the call and they can tell you if there's somebody in your area who can help you. Courts. Did you know that there are some courts that have volunteer lawyer participation programs? That means they have programs where they encourage attorneys to volunteer their time to provide legal assistance to individuals who need it. And it's the same thing. You contact your court, and it doesn't have to it could be the state court, county court, federal court, special interest types of courts, whether it be intellectual property court, whether it be the Supreme Court. A lot of these courts have special lawyer programs where the lawyers engage with the courts. And so the courts want to be in a position where if somebody comes to them and they believe this individual probably needs representation, they want to be able to give them a list of individuals that they can contact. Not somebody that they're endorsing, but just people who actively participate with the court in a variety of different ways, who can then provide assistance to people who are in need. So when you're sitting here trying to figure out the type of attorney you need, don't sleep. Contact the courts. Ask them. Cold calls. There is nothing wrong with calling a lawyer's office and asking them if they do a particular type of law. And if they tell you no, can they at least point you in the direction of somebody who can? These are the people who are going to probably say, how did you find out about me? You know, they're going to be probably not trying to say that they're going to jump through hoops, but they're the ones who can connect you with the state bar or the special interest bar or your state bar, special interest bar, or your local county bar. Now, you're probably saying, who should I start with? Anybody. It could be the person you just saw on television. If they have an office in your area, just call. And don't be surprised at the response you get. Last two things you need to be aware of is, what type of lawyer do you need? And two, how are you able to pay? Let's take the first one first. When I say what type of lawyer, sometimes people come in and they say vague terms like, I want to sue, like they'll come out of a restaurant, I want to sue that restaurant. Now, there are so many things you can sue a restaurant for. So if you come to me and ask me, I'm going to be like, what are you suing them for? Was an employee disrespectful? Did you slip and fall? Did you get sick on the food? What was it that happened to you so that I can tell you? And you're like, well, what's the difference? Well, if somebody was disrespectful to you, if somebody, like, let's say the employee hit you, right, that's a criminal law, so you don't necessarily, but from a civil, you may need a civil litigation attorney in that particular instance who handles those type of cases. If you got sick, well, it's product liability. The person may be like, say, okay, not only am I wanting to know about the food from the restaurant, but that food might have a play with something along the line of distribution. And there are certain attorneys who just focus on food and beverage. Maybe you slip and fell. Attorney who does personal injury. Now, mind you, personal injury attorneys do a whole bunch of different things, but some attorneys zero that in. So you want to be able to tell them. So this way, when you call these different places and they start saying to you, because trust me, when you start calling these referral places, they're going to ask the question, what type of attorney do you need? And you want to be able to drill it down. Even if you don't know specifically the name, know the circumstances and drill it down. Hey, I want to sue them because I got sick at their workplace. I want to sue them because I slipped and fell. They can figure the rest of that out. Okay? Now, when I talk about the second part about paying, I'm not saying that oh God, I got to come out of pocket. Some of these attorneys are going to require retainers, depending on the type of law. And some of them operate on contingency. Some operates on hodgepodge of both. You need to be able to say how you're able to pay. Talking about, hey, is there any attorneys that will do this on a contingency fee basis? Do any of these attorneys require fees up front? Do any of these attorneys require me to pay a consultation fees? Do any of these attorneys do these cases pro bono? And are any of these attorneys willing to work with you? Even if the people who are referring you can't answer those questions, if nothing else, you can have your mindset together so that when you finally speak to an attorney, you'll know ahead of time, these are the things, because these are the things they're going to ask you. So know in your mind, this is the type of lawyer that I need, and know in your mind how you are planning to pay them depending on their payment arrangement.